So what's up, guys? Ninja on Ninja. Oh shit, I just realized. Before uh, I say anything, I want to say I'm surprised because I looked and I'm surprised that my comment is still there. I actually figured it'd be deleted because most of what I do gets deleted. Basically, and people act like I don't exist because what I say has a lot of wisdom carried with it. Um, but anyways, I got this video for you. Okay, yeah, there it is. Start over. I want you to watch it. Okay, you're gonna have a feeling, and it's fine. Whatever, just watch it.
Sir, is this your Bugatti? And what did you do to be able to afford a Bugatti? Yeah, man. 1 second. We have one of the biggest media channels in the entire world. We grew a channel to 10 million followers. Could we get one quick minute with you?
One of my friends.
What's that?
I think you interviewed one of my friends.
We interviewed one of your friends?
Yes, I'm an entrepreneur.
You're an entrepreneur?
I am.
How many businesses do you own?
I've owned several over the past few decades.
Yeah? Do you think we could interview you for 1 minute real quick?
Sure.
So what business has made you the most money?
The car business.
You're in the car business.
I am in the car business.
What was the most amount of money that you made in a single year?
Well, I did 80 million in one day.
You did 80 million in 1 day?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Were you a good student in school?
I was a horrible student in school. I had ADD. They didn't know what it was back then, but it's actually been a blessing.
What's a lesson about business you'd give to somebody that they will not be taught in school?
The world will teach you if you listen. You see, the difference between Elon Musk launching rockets all the time that blow up and he learns from everyone, or Boeing waiting 5 years to put up one perfect that then doesn't work, the difference is don't be afraid to take a chance. If you don't swing, you'll never hit a home run.
What is the best life advice you could give to any 20-year-old watching this right now?
The biggest decision you make in your life is the wife that you marry. If they don't love what you do, then you're going to have friction.
You gotta find somebody who becomes part of the solution, not the problem.
Absolutely. Now, what time are you coming home? It's almost the opposite. My wife loves what we do, and I have to drag her out of the office sometimes because she shares the same passion.
How old are you now?
I am 65.
Whose generation works harder, yours or mine?
We'll see. After this last election, I am a whole lot more optimistic. I think your generation is cut to go do great things.
Sir.
Okay, that was the video. Now let's play it one more time, but I will interrupt it and give you my opinion. So first and foremost, I don't know what the hell this is. It's some dude walking up to a Bugatti that's parked right there. There's two guys from the police office apparently. Like, where are you walking to? What's going on? What's the deal? What's up? Right?
Is this your Bugatti?
Like, why is it parked in the middle of fuck? And why is it parked so close? I doubt you parked it just now. Like, it doesn't look like like it's parked like right next to a fucking building or another car or something. So
And what did you do to be able to afford a Bugatti? Yeah, man.
back up, man. Like, for what?
1 second. We
Like, it's almost like the police are applying pressure just for the observer to know that, hey, the cops are here. This guy's so important that the cops are here, making sure that no one walks up to this guy because he's so important, even though you have no idea who the fuck it is, right?
have one of the biggest media channels.
And look, I'm still talking to you, even though you said, hey, get out of here. Like, for some reason, we could still make our statement. And also, the thing I'm telling you is that I'm the biggest channel ever. It's not that, like, a lot of people see this. It's that I'm hella popular. We're popular. We're amazing.
Channels in the entire world. We grew a channel to 10 million followers. Could we go
10 million followers.
one quick minute with you?
One of my friends.
What's that?
You interviewed one of my friends.
That's fine. He repeated himself. That's
You
fine.
interviewed one of your friends?
Yes, I'm an entrepreneur.
You're an entrepreneur?
I am.
The cop
many
backs
businesses-
up for some reason, unbeknownst. Like, at this point, they could tackle him to shiv him and, like, what, you stupid? Like, if it's so important, you know?
Do you own?
I've owned several over the past few decades.
It's just a random dude that walked up to him. Like, a cop wouldn't do that. There's security, there's clearances, there's all kinds of shit that they're not showing you. But of course, this it kind of plays into this really. So we'll get there.
Yeah, do you think we could interview you for 1 minute real quick?
Sure.
He thought about it, by the way. If you notice that he didn't respond instantly, he thinks about it.
Several over the past few decades.
Yeah, do you think we could interview you for 1 minute real quick?
Sure.
So what?
And it's also edited. Like, God knows why. Maybe they try to hide it or
1 minute real
something. Like, look at him. And there it was.
Sure.
So what?
They made it look like they zoomed in on him. Maybe there was no real edit. They just got closer or changed the cat. Maybe. Or he literally did. You know what I'm saying?
What business has made you the most money?
The car business.
You're in the car business.
I am in the car business.
What was the most amount of money that you made in a single year?
He should say he was. But he said he is.
Well, I did 80 million in one day.
You did 80 million in 1 day?
Yeah.
Selling a business doesn't count, dude. Like, that's not so, like, how you made it really depends. Like, you can't just, like, I can make $1 million or $1 billion or whatever, but guess what? 3,000 people I ruined their lives because this was their business and I fucking sold it for $80 million. Like, congratulations, you know?
I'm serious.
Were you a good student in school?
I was a horrible student
That's terrible. I was a horrible student in school. That's terrible, first off. They're just trying to trick you. But
in school. I had ADD.
I had ADD as well, but I was a good student. That's the difference.
They didn't know what it was back then, but it's actually
They didn't. As far back as him, I ain't. But back then, my school didn't know what it was. I'm sure the nation overall, like the best doctors, they knew, and they knew what to do with my school. Literally, there was a lady. She called it. He has ADD, and honestly, I may have some ADD. There may be some, but I had a lot of sugar growing up. A lot of sugar around high school. This is basically when I started to pack on the pounds. When I started to gain weight. Basically, that's yeah. So it started going bad.
been a blessing.
What's a lesson about business you'd give to somebody that they will not be taught in school?
The world will teach you if you listen. You
That's true.
see, the difference between Elon Musk launching rockets all the time that blow up and he learns from everyone, or Boeing waiting 5 years to put up one perfect that then doesn't work, the difference is don't be afraid to take a chance.
That metaphor was terrible because 5 rockets. Elon Musk is operating with stolen money and stolen capital by ruining lives. Basically, getting all this labor that he could be paying people a real good wage. You know what I'm saying? But he's not. And these people should be getting more money than they're getting, but they ain't. It's taking it all backwards, basically. Also, there's a reason why so many of his rockets are blowing up, and the reason why they're blowing up is because he's paying people who actually don't give a shit. They're just doing a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would hire myself 10 times and pay me everything because I would want to walk away from it and I'd make, give me $1 out of every $100 you make. That's cool. Like, not really, but like, just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just give me a little piece of the pie and that's fine. As long as there's 99 of me there working, it's whatever. Because, like, I know that business will be good because I'm a hard worker, I'm a good worker, I'm an honest worker. Like I said, a good student. This is the difference. Like, yeah. So there's that.
If you don't swing, you'll never hit a home run.
That's terrible because the statement is if you don't swing, you won't get a hit. Not a home run. Hit. You won't even hit the ball. But he said home run. So that means basically he's just like, eventually you're gonna win the lottery, but like somebody somewhere at some point in time is gonna win the lottery. or somewhere somehow I'm gonna win the lottery and scam people out of money, and that's it. They lose and I win, and they lose and I take all the money. Something like that. But the saying is, if you don't swing, you'll never hit it. You'll never hit the ball, right? I wish I knew that growing up because I would talk to a lot more girls. Basically, actually, I don't know. I don't know if that would be good or bad. If I talked to more girls, like there's a chance I could have a shitty fucking life, you know? I could have had a lot more fun, but at the same time, I could have had a shitty life. But at the same time, it could be a lot better too. So maybe it depends. And the girls back then, like, uh, in high school and middle schools when I didn't know about the asking, I knew about it kind of. Like I had girls that hit on me. Like every single girl I've ever been with, or like I've ever had sex with, she started it. Like it's basically like you want to fuck? I was like, oh hell yeah, kind of deal. Or she shoved my hand down her pants, kind of thing. That was it. Like I was always never engaged. I never initiated it basically. But that's because I was fucking dope. I was hella fucking hot, and I was hella smart, like I said. So girls were that desperate. I had a girl do a dance on top of me just wearing a skirt and nothing. Her boobies were out, just danced on me. She got up and she just left juice all over my lap. And she said, "Oh, sorry." I'm like, "No, it's cool, it's cool." I was like, "Take off my clothes," but yeah. So um, that was basically my life. You don't, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna. It's true. You're not gonna hit the ball if you don't swing, basically. But I didn't swing. They did. Thank God they did, because I'd never get anything. But they swung and they got hits off of me. That is. Some girls they swung, no. Some girls they swung, yes. But the point is that is true. But he says home run, and that's what really stood out to me, because who's like I just want to hit the ball. You know what I'm saying? Some people just want to hit the ball. They don't want the home run. No, it's hit the ball. If it's a home run, cool. You know what I'm saying? But no, it's like for me, home runs were a thing because I could always hit the ball. Like I, no matter what, just like I had really good. Like I could, when I tried, I hit the ball. Like 100% hit the ball, hit the ball, hit the ball. So his saying works for me, for example, because what's it called? I since I hit the ball so much, it was just I'd hit it, and if I had to try, and I'd get a home run. But it's because I never tried at all that I didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? But the point is, I was good enough to hit the ball, and then like I was good enough to get home runs realistically. But because I was brought up the way I was, I didn't swing at all. So that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah.
What is the best life advice you could give to any 20-year-old watching this right now?
The biggest decision you make in your life is the wife that you marry.
That I kind of agree. I didn't marry, but that could be an influence if you do. Because, like, when you're young, like, especially nowadays, they try to encourage people to get married when they're young, um, basically. And it's not necessarily a good thing because there's early and late bloomers. And what I mean by that is literally, there are people that, like, when they start life, they have the full picture in their mind. Like they're ready for adulthood at the age of 14. But some people aren't adults until they're 25, basically. Like me, I was an adult until I was around 20 something years old, basically. And like I've known people that were adults at 15, like at 14. Like there was a girl who wanted to watch me take a piss. Basically, when I was younger, like it was really, really young. I told her no because I don't want her to see my pee. It's not about my dick. It's about the pee. I don't want her to always see me pee. So I told her no. But the point is, she's the same age as me, but she was already like thinking about that shit and like fully aware and paying attention and grown up and mature. You know what I'm saying? But I was not. I was very immature. I was very young at heart. So it depends. The wife you marry depends, because some people marry old, some people marry young. If you marry young, the wife you marry makes a big difference. If it's later, not so much. Like it's most like later, it's just kind of she's gonna tack on, and obviously it's gonna work, or you're gonna tack on and it's gonna work. That's all it is. But when you're young, yeah, what he says is true. If you're young, then yes. If you marry young, rather. If you marry young, then yes.
If they don't love what you do, then you're going to have friction.
Yep, yep, that's true.
You gotta find somebody who becomes part of the solution, not the problem.
Not really. Not the I mean, as far as the topic goes, or is just to, like if you were to say so to speak, then fine. But because he didn't, it's implied that that's intended, basically. And you don't want her to be the solution. You want her more or less just to kind of like not to be a roadblock. You know what I'm saying? Not be a cure, but she just kind of oils it, basically. She keeps you loose and just, you know what I'm saying? Uh, and you don't want her to be a roadblock. You don't want her to be the opposite, like friction. You don't want, basically that's basically that. Is you want her to be to oil, not grease, or grease the engine and oil the engine, and not be the opposite and cause friction. Basically, because that's your production, like a train. Like, imagine your girlfriend is a wrench in the train, and you can't win. Like when I was after, I was 12. My mom was that wrench for me, basically. Whenever I wanted to do, anytime I want to hang out, do anything, go somewhere, she'd throw a wrench in it, basically. So part of her was the reason why I evolved or grew up so late. Um, but maybe she's the reason why I'm so brilliant today. I don't know. I have no idea, but yeah.
Absolutely. Now, what time are you coming home? It's almost the opposite. My wife loves what we do, and I have to drag her out of the
That doesn't
office
matter.
sometimes because she shares the same passion.
How old are you now?
I am 65.
Whose generation works harder, yours or mine?
We'll see.
As far as the wife thing, that makes me think that he only got what he got because of her or her involvement. So
After this last election, I am a whole lot more optimistic. I think your generation is cut to go do great things.
Sir,
that last statement right there is cut to do great things. How he says cut to do great things, right?
This last election, I am a whole lot more optimistic. I think your generation is cut to go do great things.
Now, the thing about that is, this is actually where my comment comes up, and I wrote it down on, because I assumed it's going to be deleted, but amazingly it's still there. But um, basically, it was yeah, they're cut to great things, as in they will make great slaves and idiots, such as I may live longer because your generation sells me their body parts for nothing because they are so stupid. Oh, I mean, they're great. They're going places, well, the parts of them that I bought and that enabled me to go there. Basically, that's what I said. Basically. So I think basically off of his standards, Elon Musk's standards, Trump's standards, like they're great. They did great things, but at the cost of other people, like suffering from other people. They're the kind of people that you don't want involved, or that you don't want to be in charge, kind of deal, because again they ruin the system. Basically, like imagine being an animal, and or because I believe not so much as like reincarnation to an extent. Like it's reincarnation, and you don't remember your past life except for maybe like feelings, maybe I think that's what they call instinct. Uh, mm, Maybe that's picked up. Maybe it's parental instincts. I don't know, but there's something. Okay, so basically, what I believe is that when like you don't want the cows to suffer, because imagine if you were the cow, basically. Because I don't know if you know this, but frogs, every bit of life in the world is the same as us. That thing in my head that makes me me is the same thing around the world. Now, there is something in my head that makes me different. Um, but I'm the same as far as like I'm experiencing the world, and they may not feel the pain when they die, or they may, think there may be differences like that, but the point is they're experiencing it. Now imagine if you were a cow, would you want to be, go through torment and live as a slave? Or be a happy cow, in the field, growing up, eating, fucking, running around, doing things that a cow does, and then one day just all goes black. Just randomly, just it's all gone. Like I rather that versus like I hate life. I hate life. Like I remember in the past, if you watch, there's another video I did, and it's about addiction. Basically, Alan Becker, I think his name was, or something like that, and he was talking about addiction and how addiction works. And basically, like, I can fit that argument in to that cow, the experiencing of life, but through addiction, basically. And what I mean is, there are some people, like, this is a wheelchair, by the way. And the reason why it's a wheelchair is because at one point in my life I couldn't walk. Now I can kind of walk, basically. So now I don't need the chair. You know what I'm saying? I'm thankful for that. But the point is, like, again, like, I just imagine how shitty the world would be if the wheelchair didn't exist. I'd probably be dead. Once upon a time, I would be dead. And, like, that's part of why the animal kingdom doesn't turn into, it doesn't, like, this is why dogs don't uh, act like humans, is simply because they haven't evolved to the point. Basically, they haven't evolved. What I mean by that is, generally speaking, when they're born kind of slowish, they die. They're killed off or they're left behind. The same as us. Once upon a time, when we lived in caves, if you were too fucked up to keep alive, then fuck it, we gotta leave you behind. We lived in a bear cave. The bear's gone. He's gonna come back maybe one day. Who knows, right? But the point is, we leave you behind. Okay, but the problem is, the guy that was left behind, is actually probably the smartest person out of the group, but he can't walk. You know what I'm saying? And so he has to. You have to care for them, but at the same time, they pay back by doing mind stuff, thinking, and making your world better. You know what I'm saying? Because they're so smart, kind of like what I do. Basically, I make your world a better place because I'm so smart, or I keep people from doing evil things because I'm so smart. Basically, but my point is, animals, those people died off. Like in school, in high school, I get killed off. You know what I'm saying? People like me get killed off. I learned how to fucking fight and to stand up for myself in school, which took away from my learning, because like I'd be talking in class, like what, and like hey, and they go quiet, like dude, shut up, and the teacher like Ben, pay attention, like, you know what I'm saying, and there's just problems basically. So what I'm saying is like, and then that dude has a shitty life. You know, that guy that called me like, and he's fucking around and trying to bring everybody to the cool circle in school. You know, be the one of the bad kids. His life sucks. He works at FedEx. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you're the king of FedEx, or you know, the queen, or a bitch, or just, you know, like what's it called? You ride with the king. Basically, you're friends of the king, or you're a victim of the king. You get punished, you get raped, whatever. It's like prison, right? It's animalistic behavior, and in society, we kind of forbid those things, and we protect the people that are hindered, that have kind of like, I can't walk, so we create a wheelchair so you can show up, you know, so we can hear from you. And the point is, I can bring you insights that someone who can walk couldn't bring you. And now knowing that, the animal kingdom, prisons, and the whole 9 yards, and poor communities, the poor worlds, that same thing happens. And that's why they're so stupid and run down, and why animals won't evolve. Because I show up, and then they see me sitting there, and instead of learning, nom, 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 and they get a meal. You know what I'm saying? So there goes the brains. They don't learn. Instead, they go and they join Mr. Hey, come here, hey, and they go over there. And then every time they get to rise up, there's some asshole like, hey, come here, and drags them back down, drags them back down, so they never go up, basically. And that's my point. And there's some disciplined dogs, like the care dogs that are brought up to care for you, or to take care of a person that have a panic attack. You know what I mean? Those dogs, or it's like, hey, come here, and the dog is like, and he's like, nope. And it's like, unless your name's Becky and you sound like Becky and you know my name, I'm not paying attention to you. You know what I'm saying? That dog, you know, if that dog had kids, and you know, and carried on, and every generation, they'd eventually walk around like us, like, Sir, Mr. Prez, you're gonna have a seizure in 30 seconds. I would recommend you sit down, basically. And then sit down, I was like, should we save them? You know what I'm saying? That we'd had that debate because they rose up with Star Trek and Star Wars. Star Trek, yeah. But, yeah, anyways, that's what it is. And that's that life and the spark and the brains and all that crap and the matter. And I know all that shit. But yeah, watch out, because this dude's just a snake. That's what I feel. He's a snake. The dude talking like, hey, I got really popular internet, blah blah blah. He seems like a snake too. Deep seek stock market. Like, that just seems kind of like assholes that basically lead humanity back into the dirt. Instead of taking you up, we're gonna take all the thinkers and take all of their value, and we're gonna, you know, take it into the ground, basically, versus like taking it to the sky where they should be. It's kind of like what Trump's doing right now, and he's trying to enslave humanity, like keep everyone else stupid, so that our smarts is the top. Basically, the problem is you're only like 40% of what we know as humanity already, but that's all you know, and so you're trying to dumb everyone down to keep you stupider than you. But like me personally, if I was the president, for example, I want you to be better than me. I would want to hand you the torch at some point. Like, I'm too old. Here, take it, and then you'd be able to take it, and then society would keep going up. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully. But and then at some point, uh, we're gonna have, you know, the Trump person, or we're gonna have the same thing that Hitler happened. And it's gonna repeat itself, because, and like, basically, what I know, what the cycle, I know what's going on, I know what's happening. Talk to me about it, learn, uh, and I can, you know, show schools and colleges, you know, and businesses. I can show them how to guide their systems so that we skyrocket. probably flying cars in like 2 generations. What I mean by that is like I mean the whole like the Earth is literally every has a flying car. You know what I'm saying? Because like that's what it should be. Basically, it shouldn't. Dictatorship is a bad idea. Um, Democracy is a good idea, but it's because you listen to everybody. Everybody listens. The problem is they found a way to rig the democracy. But the way that they found a way to rig the democracy is that they have a group of people that are willing to sell out and cheat, versus making a democracy where one person can do it, or the dictatorship where one guy decides to be corrupt, then it's corrupt, right? But in a democracy, like you need a bunch of people to be corrupt. Like there's so much shit that they would do if they could, but they can't because of it's a democracy. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they're trying to get rid of the safety and the checks. And people are like, okay, okay, okay. And that's why they're making it stupider, trying to remove the school and da da da. I could talk about anything and everything for days. I'm fucking brilliant, son. I wish I could walk, but and it'd be fucking great if I could run, but I can't do shit. I can't even use my right hand. So, anyways, that's it. Take a look. Keep it easy. Go in peace.